Welcome to the Myth-of-Soma podcast with your hosts, Cupid and Sub-Zero. It's time to get your weekly Soma news, updates, and of course, who's been winning the Guild Village War. So put your stinger bow down, take off your bone boots, and sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Welcome to the Myth-of-Soma podcast. So, it's been a while since we've done one of these together. So, how you doing, Tom?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Welcome back.
I know, had a leave of absence whilst I did my fight, which
And I just couldn't be bothered.
you could be asked. I don't think anyone could really. So we wanted to talk. We got a big podcast plan, probably next one with a few different people. We're going to try and get a few people on it, but we wanted to do one just us two on a couple of the threads that I've posted recently, because there's been so much feedback, and the feedback's all quite similar. If you actually read the thread and read the posts, you know, people's ideas and things are very similar to what they want. So today we're going to talk about the drops, the drop percentages, the drop files, everything to do with the kind of the loot system really on Soma, because it hasn't changed a lot in years really. So the first of all I want to talk about is the common mob drop files. So things like the nightmares, the Horde of Shanice, the ones that you level up on, basically. You know, excluding boars and probably excluding BLG, because I think those ones are pretty good. The common one for nightmares was having them to drop CT and toe, and all the nightmare gear, because I don't think they drop hats. I think, is that right? I can't remember off the top of my head. It's one. They don't drop one of the parts. I'm pretty sure it's hats. What do you think about that?
The shit anyway, put it that way.
They are shit.
You spend so long there and you get nothing. You get nothing worthwhile except from frogs, don't you? You get like a lot of frogs.
So you gotta do int from basically about 97-ish, I think it is, to 177. So it's the longest slog, I think, in the whole of any level on a mob. I think you stay there longer than anything else, because at least when you're doing your melee, you can switch quite a lot between different monsters because of the strength kind of ratio thing. But if you want to be a mage, or you want to level up a new mage, you can do 90 whatever odd int to 177 int on them without any kind of really return apart from some frogs. But the thing with frogs, they're not worth as much as they used to be. People used to go nuts for frogs because it was all about evasion. You know, hunting, when BLG were the top mod, everybody wanted evasion. But boars, people don't really use evasion because they're very easy to, they're very hard to get full evasion on. So for now, frogs aren't one worthwhile. So the big requests basically were a CT added, a toe added, the relevant staffs added as well, because they drop, I think, crystal staff, which no one will ever use, past kind of 100 ins or anything like that.
Well, the problem is as well that the skills is too high. So like at the time when you're at crystal staff, you're already at like Azure staff or whatever, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So what's the one before Azuis?
Oh, people are healing for int or doing staff skill or any skill on bugs, So they're already at the top end thing anyway.
So the common thing on the thread was basically the leveling mobs being redone. Now, I'm not a GM, but you will know a bit about this. You've done some programming, but somebody mentioned, I think it was Brain Data, said, is it possible to outsource this job to say one of the community? Because I know Dan's obviously very busy. Where so can this happen? If he gave them a copy of the drop files, can they edit them to be updated and then he implements them back in, if you know what I mean? What's the biggest time consumer?
That is what Ghost Lord were doing with D-Soma.
Right.
I believe that is what Ghost were doing. Before, Ghost did a lot of the improvements on D-Soma and put a lot of the original, the long time ago, like, this is like not in the last year, this is like a while ago. But he was doing that. So Dan gave him, he had access to his own SQL database of the Soma database, and probably just give him a mirror image of this one now, except he probably removed all the account names and usernames and passwords and stuff. So he just had the raw mob file, and then he was editing it to whatever he wanted to, and then sending it to Dan. That's what I believe was happening.
Okay, so if that's possible, I'm sure there's tons of people who can do that.
There's loads of people that can do that, because it's an old system.
Yeah.
It's still used today, and that everybody can learn. You can just YouTube how to do it, you know? It's such an old system, so anyone could do it.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do it, though.
No, you couldn't do it. No, you're just good at punching people in the face.
Yeah. I'm good at Excel. I'm not good at computer stuff. But anyway.
Mr. Excel.
Mr. Excel, yeah. Mr. Spreadsheet. So things like, let's say the Hordishanners, let's take them. They drop a load of shit, don't they? They just drop, you know, tons of like Staff of Skies, Dark Shields, Blood Pants, just stuff that they don't need. And when you're hunting them, they're just everywhere. The floor's covered in them, so they're quite annoying to hunt. And you know, all the kind of common leveling mobs. So let's say if you're on what level were you doing Apis on? You'd be like Palace kind of mobs, won't you? Trolls, no, devil. What do they call them? Devil warriors. So basically, they were saying that the mobs that you're leveling on, you want to be getting the drops that you are going to be using at that level. So if you are leveling on, you know, if you got Apis kind of bow level, you know, the Shanish should be dropping those really. That's kind of where you'd be at that time, wouldn't you? I think.
Yeah, basically.
And the relevant armors. So, I mean, bone armor's so common actually. It's not the armor's probably not a massive issue, but I think definitely weapons are. And just getting rid of the junk, getting rid of the the stuff that's just lay on the floor. I mean, just go and take a trip to Hordishannus and see what people don't pick up. But if that was done, I think it would make, and they were just updated a little bit, so it was a bit more rewarding leveling a new character, especially mages, like especially the nightmares. And then would people think, okay, I might do another character? I couldn't think anything worse than doing a mage, doing a mage all the way on from that int all the way up to 177. So would updating these drop files make people create more characters and obviously play the game more? I think they would. What do you think?
100%, 100%, definitely.
Because and D-Soma sounds like it was worse as well.
D-Soma's horrendous. Like, you don't get anything on D-Soma until you hit, like, even what's it called, the Caril lizards or something. I think you start them at like 130 strength, right? And you get nothing from them. Like, nothing. They drop like these wooden boards or something, like, which is like Devil Warrior boards. The Devil Warrior boards that you never wanted, that you chucked on the floor. Yeah. They drop them. They drop Caril lizard eyes, which I think you need 20 for a quest, and you get something from a quest for 20. So you get 20 in your first hunt there, and then after that you get nothing. There's literally no items in the drop file. Yet people are staying there. I've heard people staying there till like 200 strength, till basically cap, because they're easier, because they do less damage. Damage, so you can just stay there for ages and ages and ages and ages. I know that's a bad thing in a sense, because it's not an incentive to move on and go to a mob that's got drops. But even if you made it so you were there 140 to 170 strength, there's no drop between that period, and you might be there for a couple of weeks. If you can only play 3 hours a day, 3 hours every day after school or after work, you're going to get nothing. You're going to literally get nothing. You'll be able to have no upgraded items, no decent drops except the odd weapon drop. So you get nothing for all that time. Like, why isn't more items and stuff being added to the drop files? It makes no sense. It's like it was forgotten about. We've added a mob, we've put this in, this is the level range, this is the strength range, we'll just add these weapons to that mob, because this is the strength range, blah blah blah. That's it, done. Simple, which is easy to do and anyone can do. And so
it sounds like people kind of know what they would want in them drop files. I presume it's like the relevant weapons and armors. I presume it's same on D-Soma, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah. But they just need updating.
So I think obviously Dan has got a lot on his plate, and I don't think it's fair to do this podcast, request probably 5 or 6 different things, and
but no one's blaming him.
No, of course not. No, this is what I'm saying. He needs to we need to lighten the load on him, because he's trying to do all this on his own. So, like I say, can anyone, hold a hand up and say, right, I'm happy to do this job, Because
they're not going to get anything out of it, this person. Like, we do this cast to bring, like, information to the community and all that. But we're not getting anything at all out of it. At all. So this person who's doing this, I can't do it, because I done messed about with SQL and all the database and all that shit for years. Honestly. I ain't done it for years. I have no idea. Plus, I'm too busy. I've got a full-time job. I come home after the work and I just want to play Soma for a few hours. I can't bother messing about trying to do all that, you know, or learning how to do that.
So it needs to be someone who's got the time, done it before. But basically, you can just outsource to.
Even Bradley Cole did it. Remember?
Yeah,
a few months ago, he were on showing us updated stuff going on. Like he made his own database and we're doing stuff. Demon. He had his own database, and he went and tested all the upgrades. Remember that video? And he said, "I've got 100 toes in like so many weapons. I'm gonna test upgrades and stuff like that, and get the success rate and all that."
Was that Demon?
Yeah, that was Demon who did that.
Oh, right.
So even he access to the database and knows how to do some stuff. Do you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not right. As much as I say this all the time, it is not hard to remove stuff. From it's like a text file. It is not hard to remove stuff. Like if Dan spent an hour on an evening and literally went through like KL on D-Soma, Magma on Human Soma and D-Soma, and a few of the other mobs or nightmares, and just deleted the drop, like the code for the drop or whatever it is, it could take an hour. I don't care what anyone says. It could take an hour max to delete shit. Because you're not adding anything, you're just deleting stuff.
Okay. So for general leveling mobs and the general journey from, level 1 to level 110, it would be nice to see H-Soma and D-Soma updated, the general leveling journey. So if anybody wants to volunteer, who's got the skill and knowledge to do this, then probably just get in contact with Dan directly, I think would be the best thing to do. I think it'd be obviously a bit of a brainstorm between Dan and the guy and whoever really to kind of say what should be going in these drop files. But definitely I think it would make it better for...
See, there's no worry of this guy getting access to anything like that's going to make anything unfair.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah,
because all he's going to have access to is his own database or a mirror image of this one, and all he's going to do is edit the file.
Yeah.
And then he just sends it to Dan and Dan checks it, and then if he thinks it's sound, he just copy and pastes the code in and changes it,
Yeah.
It takes off all the legwork from Dan. Dan's basically getting something for free for doing nothing,
Sounds good. Sounds like a good idea, that. And I think it would help the journeys of people, especially new players as well. There was a lot of talk about new players. And you got to think, imagine if a new player came to the game who never played Soma. They would be like, what the fuck do I do? Obviously you can ask and you can help and things like that, but it would be good if he went out and started killing direwolves and stuff, and the axes and the swords and the bows started dropping that he would need. The ones that are past the training one. That would be quite cool to see. And then there was another idea. Actually, this was my idea. There was a cash auction house. So, well, not an auction house, just a selling house. So imagine if, like, say we're doing this hunt now, we're going to find all sorts of drops that we would never pick up. You've seen all the bone armor that we've not bothered with, etc., etc. But if there was an auction house where you put an item in and you set a bar amount, it's only bar only, and it stays in there, for infinity unless you stop. Like, okay, these rare bone pads now, I'm going to pick them up just because I'm going to probably just drop them in time. But I could stick these in the warehouse for say 1,000 bar, whatever they are, next to nothing, and then a new lower level player can search them and get them for cheap. So it kind of helps just that. Keeping that economy going, especially for the lower level, the new level players, because them trying to, imagine a solo player, especially if they don't speak English, if they say the Korean or the Chinese or something like that, it would be very difficult for them to get the right level weapons and things like that. So a cash-only auction house, and you can stick anything you want in there. If you want to stick it for say, what's the going rate, about 4 or 5 million for one of those, and that's cool. Stick it for a red dragon tablet.
Oh, that'd easy.
Yeah, so let's say if you wanted to sell a tablet in there, you can sell it for, again, whatever you want.
Yes.
So I think, World of Warcraft had an auction house that was, gold, silver, bronze, silver, and gold, wasn't it, on World of Warcraft?
Yeah, but what you could do is you could just, like a notice board,
But I think like a proper, where you can search items.
It used to be there. It used to be there.
Yeah, but I can't remember how that worked. I think that, and I think that was a time thing as well. I think that was like it was on for say 4 hours, whatever.
Yeah, you put your item on it, and then people bid, and then at a certain time, whoever were the top bid won.
I think that I think a set price works better than that because of the different times of different user counts. You know what I mean? So, and obviously how much people play. If they don't play for say the weekend, they might miss a load of hours. But if it was in there, imagine having access to it on the website as well. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, this is obviously big requests, but I just think if it was a cash auction, something really simple, literally as simple as you can make it. That would be quite nice to see.
What, you mean bar? You mean bar, man?
Just bar, yeah. What did I say?
You said cash. I think you got cash on the brain again. You be careful
oh, no.
what you're saying, bar.
Oh no, I'm a changed man. I've learnt my lesson from you.
Yeah, all right.
I've had enough dim sum for a lifetime.
Yeah.
So I can't want to say cash. I mean bar.
I do think it is a good idea. It'd be nice just to go, oh, I don't need these 20 CTs that I've got. I'm going to put them all in there for 200 million or like a million a piece or whatever.
And it makes bar more relevant as well, doesn't it? Because people, I mean, bar's a little bit better than what it was on eSoma because people no one really bothered with it, did they? But it's still, it's kind of a bit of irrelevant, isn't it, really? So it would be nice to see that, and it makes bar more of a trading item rather than, you know, tablets and small diamonds and frogs being the currency. It would be nice to see an actual currency. Okay, so that was one idea that a few people plus one actually, so that was quite nice. And that was really mainly to help, you know, people who were struggling with items. So if somebody wanted, you know, a rare stinger or something like that, then they could probably buy one, you know, through bar. So it's just going to help everyone out really, keep that economy, you know, rolling. Okay, so
people
bringing players
sell a lot for bar as well. I have seen quite a few people doing that.
Yeah, people do. I mean, obviously you use it for crafting, don't you? Because you can craft quicker if you don't sell the things you craft. So that's mainly why people do it, which obviously makes sense. And then the other, I mean, obviously the main reason why I posted that thread was, you know, what would improve the user count, what would make people either stay longer or join the game, or bring people back. Mainly, you know, the majority of the player base is going to be people who've played somewhere in the past, you know, mainly this server. Why are they going to come and play again? You know, and a lot of people were saying that they're fed up of kind of, you know, grinding for say 20 hours at mags, getting say, I know, 10 tabs, couple stingers, and then going to the anvil losing it all. Yes, that is part of the game. It's part of RNG. It's always been...
You're a bit buffing it there. You don't get 10 tabs. There's no way you get 10 tabs in 10 hours.
No. Okay, so let's say a week.
So say you do a week of farming, 10 hours a day, you'd probably get about 10 to 20 tabs in a week, 10 hours a day. I don't believe that the drop. We're going to come on to this in a minute, but the drop rate is.
Well, I've added quite a lot on mags before I went on holiday, and I only got CTs. I don't know what it is. I don't know if CTs have dropped more often than hard stinger. Nice. I don't know if CTs drop more often than the other tabs, but I only got CTs for like days. No RDTs, no DTs, which are the kind of the tabs that I would want. But anyway, so Loopy actually said about increasing them slightly, the drops at mags slightly, like 20-25%. I think he said, without going back on the thread. I don't really want to read the whole thread out because I did that on the last video and I think people find it a bit boring. But people were saying that if you slightly buff them, so people go, okay, it's a bit better, let me give it a go. You know what I mean? Rather than going, oh, I can't be awesome mags, I know that I'm just going to get X amount in the next few hours. I know it's all a bit of luck as well, but I think a slight buff would just give that incentive, you know, to go, okay, let's try these again. And again, it's not benefiting the top players really. It's going to be benefiting the guys who've got not maxed out gear. Well, yeah, it's going to benefit everybody.
It's going to benefit us. It's going to benefit the poorer people, the rich people. It's going to benefit everybody, right? Like I said, let me come on to my point, right? Someone said this is a terrible idea because the rich get richer. Talking about Matty, myself, Rocky, Shaylo, Gannon, Hadu, the people that are all there with the mega decent gear, okay? Everyone knows them people have top gear. Yes, they are rich in terms of Soma, okay? But the poorer get to our level faster than we did, okay? And basically, we can't do anything anymore. I can't upgrade subs gear anymore. I can't upgrade Cupid's gear anymore. I can't upgrade Rocky's gear anymore. Okay, because it's capped. The gear is capped. It's at max, like upgrades. You know, and we've spent a long time, didn't we, Mai? Like, we've spent a long time. Like, how many hours have you spent on sub sorting your gear out? And
I don't know about you. I've spent a long time on your gear.
Yeah, that's true. I ain't done as much. I'll admit to that.
You log in and go, "Fucking hell, this gear's good." I was like, "Yeah, cheers, mate."
yeah, exactly. Anyway, so we can't get any better gear. So this change isn't even frigging helping me. You know, I'm saying up the drop rates. In a sense, I should be saying, nah, sod that. Why do I want the drop rates upped? You know? I've got gear. You guys can all sit down there in the bottom. I don't care what you guys are wearing and what you guys are playing with. Matty's got a +8 bow. Matty today sorted himself a decent crossbow, you know. We've got
the first time I've had one go +5, actually.
Matty's just got him a really, really good +5 fucking crossbow. Like, that's all we can do, is just random shit like that. Like, we just get, like, 20 toes and we're like, sorry, let's stick it on all the weapons we can. Because we don't need anything else, so we just randomly make shit now. And half the time, we lend everything out to all his friends.
Well, yeah, this ball get lent out,
like,
guaranteed.
Yeah, like, all our stuff gets lent out all the time because we're capped on gear. Like, there's nothing for us to do. So we're just like, here, guys, you can borrow our gear. The reason we're having to lend people gear is because they can't get gear like us, because they can't spend the hours farming it and getting the upgrades to do it.
I think the thing is as well, if you up the rate, let's say Mags was, let's say, double, okay, for example, that's more weapons, more toes, but it's not more diamonds. And the thing is, it's after the +5 is where the really fucking expensive stuff happens. So all it's going to do really is make more people with semi-decent gear and make more people, you know, kind of more relevant, should we say, in PvP, because unless you're kind of talking, you know, a sub 700 recoil bow, you're not going to do much damage, or you're not going to hit fast enough really to damage, say, you know, say if you're fighting me in a 1v1, you need a decent fast weapon, or I'm going to drop you too quick. All that's going to do is give the lower level people a good +5 weapon. That's what it's going to do, because to get an SS, it's a fucking ball ache, let's face it. They might get 1 or 2 SSs, and they might get lucky and do it, but you've still got to try and upgrade it to +6, which again, I think it's less than 50% in it on that one. It's hard to do. And the SS is... I mean, before I left from a boxing fight, I had 4 large diamonds, and I made only 1 SS out of 4 large diamonds. So it's very difficult to make an SS as well. So you got to remember, this is only helping people make a +5 weapon. Yeah, really. Yeah. That's
we're not going to get a load of plus. We're not going to have, in a week's time, if they buff, say they buffed mags and bars, just buff everything across the board by 25%, right? It's not going to make everybody in a week's time have +8 bows and be like a PvP server, and everyone's going to have +8 bows and +5 weapons. Because you're going to farm for 3 hours. You're going to get 10 tabs instead of 1, okay? You're going to go to the anvil. You're going to rip all them 10 tabs and get nothing. You're still going to... We're not asking for an anvil buff. We're asking for an across-the-board, not upgrades, but just general loot buff. And every mob just get buffed in the terms of drops. We know you can buff drops by, like, double drop weekend, you know? I don't know how much better that is. Like, what actually happens? Is that, like, double the rates, or does it actually drop 2? Right? So if it drops 1 item, does it drop 2? I don't know.
No, I think it's just...
What actually happens? Because I've never actually been on a weekend when that's
I've only done it once. I think I just got a lot more items, basically.
So he's buffed the rates, basically. So say he buffed the rates by, instead of, like, double the rates, just buff it, like, 10 times. You know? See what it's like. Or stick it on the test server. Test it on the... Put the test server back on. Stick mags at like 10 times, and we'll 10 times the rates of what they are now for the drops. Me and Matty will go there for a couple of days and tell you how much we're getting. And if we think we're getting too much and it's not fair and it's a bit overpowered and overkill, we'll say it. You know.
I think a 25 to 50% in be relevant. You know, thing. You know, sometimes we did. I actually recorded this 15 hours we did before I went on holiday, and that was with 2 of us majority of the time. And we had
everyone could see
it down. It was
right
5
now.
It was 5 CTs. It was 1 hard stinger. I got tons of snake bites. I got like 3 epic snake bites. a load of rare and hard ones. But the main items I needed was RDT, DT, and stingers, and I got no RDTs, no DTs, and 1 hard stinger. So,
and how many hours were that?
That was 15 hours, a majority
hours.
Of 2 of them.
These 2 characters right now that you're seeing right now, look at how fast we kill them. Look at how, right, come to this mag, right, click it once and watch. Look at how fast it dies. Just look. Like, we kill them, even with healers. Like, healers are nothing now. We don't care about healers. We kill them so fast.
And we kill them quicker than most people.
We kill them quicker than everybody. You are all seeing this right now. This is how fast we kill them. Then when we've got Rocky on, and he's a proc mage, Rocky can like 5 hit max on his own. Rocky can't, there's no point in Rocky weakening. When we're all hitting the same mob, there's no point in weakening. By the time he's weakened this, by the time he's actually casted weaken, it's casted it on him, the mob is dead in about 2 more bow hits. Just look at how fast we kill it. It hardly even gets time to get to us. This is how fast we're killing the mobs, okay? This is why we brought this to attention, because we've done this for like 10 hours, multiple times. Like, for ages now. And we're sat here thinking, we're getting nothing. Like, and we're doing it this fast. I imagine people who haven't got even near our gear, who have just got a +5 stinger average, just +3% accuracy gear or +3 strength gear. You know, the standard easy to get +1, +2, +3 standard average gear that everyone can pretty much get with a little bit of trading, a little bit of this and that. Yeah. Matty's got ridiculous gear, we all know that. This character's got pretty good archer gear now. Like, I'm sat in full +5 with a +6 bow that's under 500, under 550 recoil is this bow. And we're sat with +5 armors, we're sat with +3 access. I'm sat with decent gear, right? I ain't got shit gear, this has got decent gear as well. So we're killing it this fast, okay? And the drops we are getting are absolutely horrendous. It makes me think on a night, like Matty says to me, you're coming to do mags, and I'm like, what's the point? We spend like, I get home from work at 7 o'clock. I want to spend a bit of time with my girlfriend and my daughter. I want to have some dinner with her. I want to watch a bit of telly, and then I want to log on for a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours. That is it. That's as much as I can probably handle on an evening. And I just said to him, what's the point? I get on and we might get, like in that 3 hours, we might get, if the RNG is good, we might get 1 half decent drop in that 3 or 4 hours. And then I have to go to bed. And then I go to work the next day and I do it, and Matty's like, come on, we'll go on. Matty's got way more time than me because his job means that he doesn't have to, like, he didn't have to do as many hours as me because he owns his own company, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into that. But Matty has a lot more hours than me, and a lot more hours than most people. And there's other people in this game that have more hours to sink into it. But the majority of people on here are all working class people who are working. They have children, they have wives, they have girlfriends. They ain't got the 10 hours to stick into a game anymore. You know? There's no kids on here anymore who are school kids. Everybody's like 25 plus, older, you know? No one's got time to be doing this.
I don't know, it seems like a lot of fucking children out here sometimes.
Well, I know. But you've got to realise that the reason people are not logging on is because they can't be bothered. Because you get... The chances of you getting something are so slim. Then when you get it and you take it to the anvil, it rips instantly, and you're just like, what is the point? And we're not asking for anvil to be changed. Leave the anvil. It should be like that. It should be a really low chance of getting all this stuff. But at least make it so people can get the stuff to rip it, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of MMOs and stuff, it is all about the loot, isn't it? It's all about the items and things like that. You got to think about it. If when I played Diablo, it was constant. You know, you were doing runs and you were doing bail runs and all that stuff, and it was every... How long did a bail run take? About 5 minutes, if that. And then you every 5 minutes you had a chance of getting something really good. Every 5 minutes, you know. So you got to think like that. Yeah, I agree. It should be a little bit more exciting. I've been killing these for what, half an hour now. I've had a hard stinger, and that was pretty lucky, to be fair.
So what have we been going? I've been recording right now, 30 minutes. Like, what have you got? 1
hard stinger.
So we've had 1 hard stinger.
A couple of frogs. Minutes. That's about it, really. A liver.
So
So we could get, you know, hopefully we're gonna get a good drop on video. But I mean, I've done so many mags, it's ridiculous. I know when I kill a 10k mag on epic stinger the whole time.
Oh yeah, This is one thing, right? This is one thing that came in my WhatsApp group when we were at other day. I'm not going to name who said it, but they said, I've just completed the 10k mag quest, and in my whole time in the 10k mags, the best drop I had was an epic stinger.
Yeah, I was saying.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but 10,000, or is it 999, whatever. 10,000 mags, and he got an epic stinger. That is just a joke. That guy has just basically said, what is the point? You know, I cannot be bothered doing this again.
Well, it's a Saturday afternoon. There's no one at Mags apart from me and you. That kind of says it all. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Saturday afternoon.
It's prime Soma time.
Prime Soma time now, right now.
Oh, another hard stinger. Okay, so I was hoping to get another hard stinger because I want to actually see if combined works as well. Because this is a thing. Although we've got 2 hard stingers, combined is most likely going to fail. And then you've got to try and make it to go +5. I think any items, unless it's a +5 weapon-wise, it's pointless. It's too slow. So this is the thing. How many hard stingers am I going to need to make a decent rare, for starters? And then on average, you need 20 rares to make a +5 on average, mathematically wise. So this is what you got to remember. You're going to need, I don't know, 40-ish hard stingers, you know, on odds-wise to make a +5 rare. So they're the kind of numbers you got to think about.
And then you get to +4 and it rips +5. Then you start again.
Well, you could. Obviously, it's all RNG, so we could combine these two, get a rare, and you go +5 straight away. It could, but on average, you got to think on average. You got to think amount of weapons. Like I've made a +5 weapon today, but I ripped 9 weapons yesterday, all +1 to whatever it was.
Yeah, but what's the chance of a +1? It's like, is it
70? I think it's all on the forum for the being bigger.
And then he got drops, doesn't it? So
but
like
it was,
70,
but basically to make a +5, you need. It's a 1 in 20. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. So basically, if you have 20 weapons, on average, 1 will go +5. If you work it out statistically wise, so you need a lot. But again, this is only helping those who, you know, say who do I normally see at Mags? Buffy's normally at Mags. Icelix has been at Mags today. Ange and Gary are normally at Mags. You know, it's people like that who it's going to help them more. And people who haven't been playing, are they going to come back and go, okay, Mags have been buffed, I might give them a go, I might try and make that bow, I might try and make that int helm, you know, or that strength ring. You know, they're the type of people who you want to start bringing back, really, and you know, help the lower level players so they can have a +5 bow is really what you want nowadays. 5 years into the server, if you haven't really got a +5 bow, you're going to struggle to level quit. You're going to struggle in PvP. You're not going to do anything in PvP, really. You know, that's kind of what we're trying to help is bring it more kind of to a level playing field. What was another point on this one?
People mentioned about new weapon tiers. That's great. New weapon tier, wow, on a 1% drop rate. So we never see them, or we see them now and again. And then someone tries to up them and they're nothing. No one's going to use a new weapon tier unless you made it 500 recall bow drop. Because you really think Matty's going to drop his +8 stinger for a new weapon, for a new bow? Why? No point. No point. Because he can just stand and hit someone. So, like, the bow's so fast, you can just sit there and, like, machine gun them. What's a bit of extra damage going to do? It don't matter. A new web tier, as much as a new web tier is great, right? A new web tier is not going to help in the long run. It's going to be nice. Oh, look, new web tier. Right, great, yeah. And great for doing it. And then props for doing it. And yeah, I do want it. I'm not saying I don't want it. I'm just saying, Matty's not going to put down this stinger. Hadou's not going to put down his +8. You know, I'm not going to put down this stinger. I'm not. It's not going to happen for maybe a year anyway. You know, the drop rate's so low. If you're not going to buff the drop rate so we can get these new weapons and we can upgrade them, what's the point? He's taken Matty. How long did it take you to make that +8 stinger, Matty?
Well, this one I got quite lucky with, but
yeah, in general, how long was you going till you got a +8 stinger? In general,
oh, I must have ripped so fucking many. Over a year.
Well over a year to make this bow, which is the top spec bow. Okay, a year. You're going to add a new web tier. Do you really think people are still going to be here in a year's time trying to make that +8? No.
Well, there's only one +8 shack level, well, decent shack level web, should we say?
Yeah.
In the whole game since 5 years. That's the Chinese speed.
And that were added. When did shack get added?
thought that was ages before I started. So
right.
But what I was going to say then is, so we're talking about
so there's
mag
1 + 8, but hang on. So shack weapons were added after Stinger, correct? Right. And there's only 1 + 8 now after all this time because the drop rate is so low. No one gets them. No one gets these drops. Like Stinger drops from mags, so it's easier for people to get and trade and all that. The other one, even if you added these new webs to, even if you added these new webs to mags, in my opinion, it still won't change. Not for a long time anyway. It'd probably be a year before you saw them new weapons actively in the community. You know, people are not going to use them for PvP or PvE actively in game for around about, I would say, a year, if the drop rate never changes. I can pretty much guarantee that. You can all argue with me as much as you want, but you know it's true. It's not going to happen. Hadu is not going to put his +8 bow down. Don't joke me. It's not going to happen. He's not going to pick up a +3 new weapon for it and instead of his +8. It's not going to happen. Because, something needs to happen across the board with drops. It has to happen.
I mean, the main thing is as well, like the casual player logging in 3 hours, wanting to, a bit of the evening, whatever.
Take my example, because I'm prime example, and I'm very much like the rest of the community, majority of the community. I work 9 to 5. You know, I have a girlfriend, I have a kid, you know, I have a house, I have all that shit, like the normal average person. Okay, my average playtime is around 4 hours a night. And if I really don't spend any time with my girlfriend, don't watch any telly, don't see my little girl, I can probably do about 6 hours. You know, but do you know what Dan says all the time? He's not busy. He's too busy. He's got a new baby. I think he's just got a new baby, or he's got children himself. He's got a girlfriend or a wife. You know, Dan, think about it yourself. You're so busy you can't play Soma and you can't do any of this editing. We want to play because we're all gamers at heart, but people are not logging in because they haven't got the hours to grind it.
Yeah, so coming back to that point, Flawless put a good post on saying adding daily quests, so let's say daily mag quests that you can work towards a certain weapon or a certain tablet or something on that day. So it's say kill 1,000 mags for a hard stinger or a rare stinger, or kill 1,000 mags or 500 mags for an RDT, but it's only a daily thing, so you can't just continuously do it. So someone who plays for 16 hours a day, they can't suddenly rack up 5 RDTs in a day, but the average player can get that RDT in the 2 to 3 hours, 4 hours what they play. And I think that was a really good idea, because if we were hunting this now and we wanted to make stingers, yes, luckily we can get stingers from the drops, which we have been doing. But we might know now that in another hour's time, we're definitely going to get another hard stinger, if you know what I mean. So, I mean, I've been quite lucky. We've had 2 hard stingers so far. This has been probably one of the best ones I've done in a while.
That is.
But let's say if we were trying to make axes, so we were trying to make BWAs. We've had none so far, no tagged ones. But if we knew that in an hour's time, when we've killed another 500 of them, we get a rare one or an epic one or whatever, and you can only do that daily. I think that's a really smart idea, because if you can only do, say, one of them daily, let's say you can choose any tablet and any weapon, fairly enough. So I think, let's say, I mean, this is a hard thing, because rare stingers are worth a lot more than any other weapons. So maybe it might be a choice of a hard stinger or a rare other weapon. And you got to kill, say, I don't know, 500. You could probably do that in 3 hours, I think. It'd be pretty hardcore, to be fair. Without
for us.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think the average person. So maybe let's say 250 or something like that to do that. Something you can do after you finish work for the day. You can log in and work towards X. And that's what you get. They're the type of plays that you want to really focus on. The people who are playing 16 hours a day, you don't need to worry about them. And sometimes I can, because I do have quite a few days off in the week. So it's not the players like me you need to start pleasing. It's the ones who either want to come back in and log for a few hours and try and work towards something, or the ones who have left because they weren't getting anywhere, basically, with the gear. They're the ones you need to start, giving them a little bit of something back, I think.
If there wasn't any upgrade system, if there wasn't an upgrade system,
pick up that sword because I've got no space.
If there wasn't an upgrade system and everything ripping so easy, right? So everybody was just with standard gear and standard weapons, it'd be fine. But because people are getting the drops, then going to rip them, that is what's killing it. Because
you got no choice. You got to upgrade.
It's two birds with one. Like it's bad, in a sense. It's hard work. You've got to farm for ages to get the weapon. Then you go to Anvil and it rips, and then you just like sod it.
So let's say if we did want to make a +5 axe right now. We've had no EPs, we've had no axes. I could probably trade this hard stinger for, say, probably a rare axe or something like that. We could probably trade, what else have we had? Got 4 frogs and 2 livers. I'm not going to get an EP for that. So you got to think, we've done, what, an hour so far, something like that, with 2 of us killing them fast. We're not anywhere close to our goal after an hour. So yeah, it's the casual ones. What can you achieve in 3 hours? I think the quest does help. I don't know what level you can put them at, but I think at this stage in the server, 5 years in, I think something drastic does need to happen with the drop rate just to kind of equal it all out. But it has to
I put it this way: I only log on, and Matty knows this. I only log on to farm when Matty says to me, "Come on, we'll both go do it," or do you know what I mean? Or we schedule it in. And we said, look, we'll go, but let's do a day at Mags or something, or let's do a few hours at Mags tonight. That's the only time I'll log in, because and then a majority of people don't have friends where they message and go, oh, let's go and do this. They're solo players, and then you get together with your friends later. Do you know what I mean? And the reason I when Matty says that and I log in is because I can sit on Discord and we can have a chat. And we mostly chat about real life shit and shit on Soma and shit going on. And we watch the football and then and hunt, you know. That's what we do. But if I were just on my own after work, and I'd just be like, nah, I can't be bothered. I'm not just gonna go do it. Log in and do 3 or 4 hours, because there's no point. I'm not gonna get anything, and it's not fun. You know?
Yeah.
And I've done it. I've tried. I have tried. I think everybody has. I think everybody listening can like relate to that. Like getting home from work and going, do you know what? I can't be bothered. Going to Mads because I'm not going to get out. But then if I messaged you, right, or somebody, if your friend messaged you and said, do you want to come do Mads for me? You'd be like, all right, okay, I will do. But there's not that big enough community to do that. There's not enough, like most MMOs, you can go to a hunting spot and you see somebody and you're like, yo, do you want to party and up and kill them together? You know, this you can't. You get here and it's like, no, I'm hunting on my own because the drop rate's that low. I don't want anybody to get my drop.
We were talking about group hunts, weren't we? With like 6 of us. Okay, that's great. It's good fun. But, you know, it's all about, you're not going to get much. You're going to come out with a couple of large livers or something, because you've got to split that loot between 6 of you then. And you actually don't kill, if there were 6 of us now, we wouldn't kill much quicker, because you can't really kill much quicker. People just kind of piss around and stuff when we're doing big group hunts. Yeah. So it's not really an advantage doing anything more than 2, I don't think. Yeah. But yeah, I think Loopy hit it on the head, you know, 25%-ish buff. I think a little bit more personally. And again, that's only going to help the low level to mid level players, really. And I think adding daily quests for some of the mag loots will help. You know, you can do 1 a day, and it takes you, you know, a little bit longer than the kind of normal daily quest, because
just a repeatable mag quest that resets every time as soon as you complete it, it resets.
Yeah, good point. Well, saying that though, that will. No, I think a daily one, because that would also benefit the hardcore players, where a daily one wouldn't. So let's say if, you know, Papalis was doing 16-hour days on mags like he kind of normally does, or China, they can keep rinsing through that quest. But if it was a daily one, they could only do it once, you see.
Yeah. But you just have to have it capped,
yeah, that'd be good. And then the ball drops. They were, well, Dan did say he buffed them, and then we went and did a morning there. Saturday morning, me and Rocky did, actually. And we had a rare pan and like I think we had 1 tablet. It was worth it, but put it that way, it was. I think we had an epic OTM, whatever it was worth a hunt. There was 2 of us killing them quick, obviously top gears and stuff, and it was worth it. And then I went a few more days, and we had nothing. We had no chat level drops. I was like, well, is he reduced them, or did we just get very lucky on that first hunt? I found that they weren't worth mining, and I was hoping, because I said this on one of the last podcasts, that if you can make boars worth mining for shack weapons, people would definitely mine boars, definitely, because they do drop great stuff. It's just they don't drop it often enough. I think I had one shack level weapon, I think, didn't I, for the whole time leveling 3 characters there. So if you can buff it enough that, again, in those X amount of hours, you can get it. And maybe a day... Oh, look, Epic Blue Wave Axe. That was lucky. So maybe our axes were...
This is like the luckiest day I've ever seen.
This is pretty lucky.
Did he log on this morning?
You're going to have to pick,
wait a minute. Did he know we were doing the cast today and he's up the race? Just knowing. Like,
he did tell me to go mags.
Yeah, exactly. We told him we're doing the cast and he's up the fucking race already. If he had, you never know. He might have seen and thought, you know what, I'll up it.
It's RNGs. It is RNG at the end of the day, isn't it? This is a lucky hunt in my experience.
I've been here for 10 hours and gone, and we've had like 1 hard stinger and like 100 and like 10 EPs and like 10 frogs, and been like, yeah, that's nothing, you know.
But then I was thinking about if you could add a daily boar one as well. So let's say kill, I don't know, 500 boars and you get a hard level shack weapon. You know, that is, so again, you're mining them, so you might get lucky, you might get a good tag one, you might get, you know, some more loot, you might get nothing, but at least you're working towards something. So let's say if you did, I don't know, 3 hours at boars, you killed 500, you got no loot, but you completed the daily quest to get a hard crossbow. You're still walking away with something. You know, I think that would help a lot of the, again, the mid to low level players who haven't really got, you know, any really good gear yet. I think that was Flawless's idea. I think that was a really, that was probably my favorite idea of the whole thread. I think was that, and again, buffing drops a little bit. But you got to think, what have you got to lose? Because you're not going to ruin the server by buffing the drops. It's not just going to completely ruin the economy and everyone running around in +8 everything. No, you've still got to remember, a +8 item is a 1% chance of it happening. Yeah. So if you wanted to make a +8 bow, you need on average 100 bows, and God knows how many diamonds and toes, you know, to make that. So it's a less than 1% chance to make it.
And so, you're still going to have to put the hours into farm. You're still going to have to log on every evening after work for 3 hours just to get like a couple of stingers and maybe a couple of DTs or a couple of CTs to do some trades or whatever. You know, it's not going to happen. This change, or if this change ever did get thought about, it's not going to change anything drastically. It's just going to make it so you don't have to farm for 12 hours a day. Or
yeah, exactly.
You don't have to farm for a whole week to get one thing, and then at the end of the week it fucking rip, and you think, fuck it, I'm not logging next week. I'll play, like all the kids are playing Fortnite at the moment. Sorry, I'll play Fortnite. You know.
Yeah.
Something needs to be done, and
yeah,
I think Dan don't need to be scared about doing it. Like, I think he just needs to realise what's happening and just, in a sense, do it. Make a straw poll even and ask the community, what's good, what they...
Well, I'm going to put those threads. Everyone was basically saying the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, it was different type of reply, but it was all, you know, a little bit more upright. Yeah, a little bit. A lot of people say more success at the anvil, but again, if there's more volume, I wouldn't. But if there was more volume going in there, you're going to have success, and that's all what it's all about. Is volume of weapons. Yeah. I mean, I got that bow to +5 today, but I failed 9 yesterday. So you got to work it out. On average, you know, I've wasted 9 weapons trying to upgrade them, but I did get lucky on this one. I mean, again, I've still got. It doesn't mean that I'm any better off chance of making this +5 just because I've failed 9 in a row. It doesn't mean anything. Oh, look, a clean tablet. Again, clean tablets. That's all I've had. It's just like we got like 20 odd of them. They can't trade them. I can't sell them.
It's more because you don't need CTs.
Yeah,
no one wants CTs. That's why it feels like that's all you get.
No one's really bothering with CTs, are they? So
I ain't seen a DT drop in months. I know I've only been back like probably 2 weeks now, but I haven't seen a DT in like months. I can't remember the last.
I need better dex rings as well, so I would like some DTs. But anyway, so yeah, I think we've kind of covered that one. Mag drops, bit of a buff, boar drops, buffs enough that it's worth mining. I think the daily one is the best idea I think I saw.
I think there's just straight 25% like update on every single mob across the board. 25% increase in drop rate. And another thing I want to say, right, before we close on this point, okay? I've got my second monitor on here, right? So in mags, which are the end game mob, okay, you've got... You're killing me, nearly.
No,
you've got like a full set of bone that could drop. You've got like Golden Thunder Rod, which is absolutely useless, you know? Like that full set of bone might as well be removed. You know, all that bone armor, no one wants that bone armor. Bit of bone armor is like what everybody upgrades in it. Everyone prefers bit of bone because it has more defense or whatever. You know, there's so many items in that.
Is it when you add more items to the drop list, does it become rarer to get?
Well, it will because there's X percent of X item dropping.
Or does it roll in a way that it chooses the percentage of one item, then the other item, then the other item? So it doesn't matter if you get 1,000 list, you've still got the same chance of an RDT.
I believe that it goes in an order. So, like, for example, bone armor is oh fuck, I nearly died. So bone armor, like, say bone armor is like 10% chance to drop, okay, on the rolls, and then DT is like 0.5%, and RDT is 0.5%. That's why you see loads of bone armor and loads of bit of bone, because that's like higher up in the drop list, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So that does happen. That does happen. So for one thing, remove bone armor. 2, or just remove the irrelevant shit from all the mobs. The pointless stuff that's in some of the mobs. Or don't do that. Leave it, because obviously Dan's probably not got the time. Leave it and just flat up the rates by 25%. Flat up them.
And then another thing which has been, well, we actually figured it out, kind of figured it out today, Dan just told us basically, the mag fragments, because we had a fucking nightmare.
We'll go on to that. Right, we're going to
well, this is another reason talking about mining mags. So in the last podcast I was mentioning, you know, people need a reason to mine mags, so the economy grows, etc., etc., etc. So mag fragments were added. And I spent God knows how long trying to figure it out. I wasted 3 mag fragments on combine because it didn't work. I thought it was a pretty legitimate thing trying to combine a fragment, but it completely disappeared and I lost 3 fragments, which pissed me off a little bit. But anyway, we found out today that the what would you call it? The boss soul NPC. So let's say, you know, you get like, you know, Grath the Werewolf soul, Lifeless Troll soul, and all that, and you can hand them in for the accessories. That NPC now will have an option for handing mag fragments in. Now, we've only seen the D-Soma one. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'll let people go and find it out. Go to the D-Soma NPC. I think he's to the right of the pot NPC in the town. And there's one item there that you can trade in for, I think it's 20 fragments, I think it is. But I won't tell you what it is. I'll give people, you know, something to look forward to. So go and find out what it is. And obviously there is an item for the Hate Soma, but we haven't got the NPC yet because Devils own the continent. So this is another reason to fight for the continent, you know, coming to the War of the Worlds, which I think is a good idea. And I thought it would have something to do with that. I actually was scanning the whole of the Conti map before Dan came on today on a Devil, going literally every single screen, left to right, all the way across the map, trying to find this NPC, because I thought it was an NPC. Obviously, nothing happened because it wasn't there. And I actually checked every NPC in the whole of Hate Soma, I think. And I'm glad that you said this, because obviously when you click on that NPC, when Devils have the Conti, it says basically that the war, I think it says something like, the war's going on, I can't help you right now. It doesn't actually say anything about, you know, this is where you hand your fragments in. So I wouldn't have found it anyway, because I clicked the right NPC, but nothing happened. So I'm kind of glad that you gave us a bit of a clue, or literally would have been pulling my hair out. Even Inwang, I traced Inwang and it wasn't him, obviously. 1 second, my stingers nearly broke. So yeah, they will hopefully give an item that is an incentive. Again, we don't know what it is yet, but an incentive to mine mags more. The fragments are very rare. We did 15 hours and got I think 1 or none. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head.
None.
We got none. Because all the ones I got were from trade, I think.
Yeah,
they were, and I got 2 more from trade today. So people are trading them, but we don't know what they're worth yet. I may have overpaid for them. I may have underpaid for them. We don't know. But next World of the War, try and get as many humans on as we can, and then we can actually find out what items we get from this. I think it's a good thing because it's kind of a bonus item, should we say, from mags. But is it enough that people are going to mine mags, religiously to get enough fragments for this item? We don't know what the item is yet, but hopefully it will be.
Probably not in my opinion.
I mean, we thought it'd be about 300 hours to get 20 on average. 300 hours is a lot. That you're talking 30 hours a week for 10 weeks. That's pretty hardcore, to be fair. Yeah. This is on average of what we've found.
It's not gonna happen.
No.
As much as I love that Danny's putting things in, and I don't hate on him, I think I respect him and appreciate everything that he's doing. It's just that he has to be more realistic. 20 fragments for one item, and people have been farming in them. I think people might say I'm wrong, but I can't see people having more than 2. We had 3, and we was shouting and putting it on the forums that we was buying them. And
I think I had all the ones in the game at one point.
Yeah, and we had 3.
Even China didn't have any for like days, and they're always here. So I don't know how many they got now. I'll ask them after, but they're very very rare.
Like, that way. I don't understand sometimes. I honestly don't get why 20 and why. It's another thing that's going to affect everything. It's the drop rate. It's the drop rate. If the drop rate were higher, we wouldn't even be complaining that it was 20. We wouldn't even be complaining. But I'm not going to, honestly, even if it's like 5 to 20 magic defense and a perfect accessory item for Cupid, I'm just not going to hunt it. Honestly, I'm not even going to be bothered. I'm going to put it on the forum that I'm buying them, and I'll just trade whatever for it. But I can't be asked farming mags for the next month to try and get one. I don't think I can be bothered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's that whole, working towards something. So again, we had a lucky hunt today, but again, we could take they could fail combine. This epic axe could rip +1. We haven't not had an egg pile yet, so technically we've got no toes to rip it with. So I think going back to the original point of upping it for the the low to mid level players. You're not going to make +8 items by upping mag drops. That's what you got to remember. The tabs, yes, but how OP is that going to be for most people, and how many tabs are they going to actually need to make a +8 int helm, for example? A fucking hell of a lot, So
most people are only logging on for Guild Village War and the odd bit.
Majority of servers.
People can't be bothered. Honestly, the hours that we're having to put in to grind, and then everything just ripping. It's just everyone's at endgame now. Everyone's capped now. Pretty much everybody is capped.
I've got no pots, by the way. You got any pots?
I ain't got any pots either.
We're gonna wrap it up now.
I'm just gonna wrap it up. So people ain't got the time and the to be farming for 10 hours, have we? Come on. Let's be more realistic with everything. But yeah.
So what's your like summary then? What's your opinion on everything? Like, what would you like to see be seen done?
If I had to, in an ideal world, I'd want across the board buff to all drops by 25%. I think 25% is a good start. It might be too much, so in my opinion, I'd put the test server back on, buff it by 25%, tell people, and I guarantee you there'll be a lot of people who will log on that test server and test it. I wouldn't change Anvil. If you're gonna buff the drops, I wouldn't even change like removing all the crap from the other mobs. I won't even bother, because if there's gonna be an across the board boost to drop rates, it doesn't matter that we get more shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter that we get loads of crap, because there's more chance of the good stuff dropping.
Yeah. So
it doesn't really matter. So in sense, just leave it. Just leave all the crap in all the other mobs.
My favorite idea is the daily quest fight, and I think that was quite good. And then I agree in upping the drop slightly. I think we had a bit of a lucky hunt today as well. It's nice to see, but that's probably the best one we've had in a while. If we would have filmed the ones from last week, it wouldn't have gone that well. But Yeah, I think a slight increase. I think daily quests for items, and redoing a few of the more like definitely redoing nightmare drops. Add toe and add CT. I don't know how difficult that is, but adding toe and adding the CT and adding the like a Shiro wand or something like that to it, whichever wand it is that people need at that level. So I think that would be nice to see. So yeah. I think that covers. Okay, so we're back for part 2 of this podcast. Tom needed beer. He had the beer shakes. I genuinely, I messaged you last night, didn't I? said, since my fight, I've drank every day since my fight for like 19 days. And I was shaking it about 6 o'clock last night because I've not had a drink all day. I was like, that's fucking bad, isn't it? Because I don't normally drink. I was like teetotal pretty much. Yeah. I was like, yeah,
sending them drunk texts last night.
Yeah, those drunk rage texts. So the second half of this podcast, we're going to talk about another thread that I did. It was what would make you play again. So obviously we spoke all about drops and things like that in the first half. And I put one, and it's like over 7 pages long, this thread. So what I'm going to do is just read out and kind of abbreviate what some people put on there. Again, just so Dan can listen to this, and then maybe players who aren't playing at the moment, they would think, oh yeah, if they did that, I would definitely come back to the game. Because you got to remember, the goal of pretty much anything I've done to promote the server has always been to improve the lifetime of the server and the lifetime of the game. Because if this server died, I think that would be the end of Soma. I think some people would probably mess around with P servers and stuff, but that would probably be the end of it. I don't think it would start up again. I think everyone would be at the point in their lives where they thought, oh, I can't be starting again. So we got to kind of really keep this going. Otherwise, it will all come to an end, which I don't think any of us want to see. So I just put a thing saying, okay, just talking about this, what would make you play again? And then people just put all sorts of different things on there. So I'm going to try and abbreviate it a little bit. So Minch Piece was the first reply. He put instant donation shops into your warehouse. I think that's a great idea. Like if I needed, I don't know, rested pots, for example, I wouldn't have to wait until a GM came online. If there's a way to do that, I don't know. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. It'd
be easier. I know a lot of people wait a lot of time. Obviously you got to rely on the gym again. It takes a bit of emphasis off that. This is Demosis. Fucking hell, cramping my toe. Conti mobs to return increased XP stats drops to make people want to hunt there. They do. Anyway, they were 10%. Yeah, they were 10%. They were in 10% increased drops at Conti. I think Mags is a bit of a better spawn at Conti as well, especially when the Magus are lured out. I think it's a really good hunting ground. So yeah, I think Conti. I think balls would be nice to see on Conti. We said this before as well. Increase experience, maybe. I don't know.
Well, you already get 10% for owning Conti, don't you? So.
You get 10% faster across the board, don't you? But maybe Conti mobs. I don't know. That's for another discussion. It's not that important.
We've said that before, though, in a previous cast about Conti. Yeah. To make us want to go to Conti, make an incentive to want us to hunt there. Like open the map up, add more mobs, add better drop rates, add bigger spawns, and to put it bluntly, it's fallen on deaf ears. So we're not going to go on it again.
So Alex is on fire. I always say Alex is on fire, but it's Alex is on fire.
Is it what? I thought it were Alex on fire.
I thought it was Alex on fire. It's Alexis on fire.
Are you sure?
So yeah. He I think he spoke to me in game about it, and he spelled it in a way. No, it's not a girl. It's a guy.
Oh,
Alexis
why is he running around in a female character then?
Roleplay.
I don't get this shit, mate. I actually thought that were a chick. No. Man, I've been calling that her babe or him babe for ages. Damn.
I appreciate that.
Damn. Catfish, boy. Getting catfish. Shit. We won't start talking about catfish.
No. Don't upset anyone. Okay. Increased drop rate across the board. Yeah, we spoke about that on the first half. And increase in the speed of crafting. I think definitely after 130... Up to 130 is not too bad. The Rocky's a fucking beast craft, by the way. I went on holiday, came back, and sub went from like 105 to 130 craft on armor.
Oh, yeah, ridiculous.
He's an absolute machine craft.
Machine at crafting.
So I think after 130-ish, up to 200 is crazy. It's such a slog. I think crafting is good. I think a lot of people enjoy crafting, and I've said this about just increasing the crafting limit per character slightly. So you can get double SR and 172 in the pot or the cooking. I think that would be quite cool.
Yeah, having multiple characters is annoying.
Yes.
I'd love to have one just have one character have everything.
I mean, it'd be great to have more SRs. You know, like getting 4 SRs, you need 200 skill, and that's what 2 people in the game have done that. If it was maybe if they had that to maybe 6 SRs or something like that, and then maybe 5 SRs was X amount of skill, 4 SRs was something, 3 SRs was, so it's a bit lower, a bit more of a realistic target that people are going to hit. That might be nice to see. But yeah, definitely increasing the rates of the craft rates. I think definitely past kind of the double SR level. So ZYZZ put banning the China farmers.
True.
Yeah,
I agree.
A lot of people have been banned, i.e. me, and they are still in game, and that's another subject, to be honest. But yeah, it's a fair point.
China are still constantly farming and fucking selling shit and doing shit.
It's very obvious that there's still things to sell.
It's so obvious, man. It is so obvious. But I guess Dan didn't want to kick them because if all the English left, they'd just be the China left.
Yeah. So Diamonds put, I agree, drop rates increase. Blah blah blah.
Ban all the China farmers. I can't believe someone said that. That's epic.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Hero 2 drop essences are too rare. I don't know. I thought I got the top pretty quick. To be fair, I got the top in 2 days.
Mate, yeah, but you bought loads, right? Like, as in traded them for tabs and shit.
Not for cash before anybody fucking jumps on that.
Yeah. But
no, I think I got 4. I got the Devilfish one in about 3 hours.
Yeah, Devilfish.
The one I got with Rocky here in about an hour.
Yeah.
There was 2 of those though.
Mag one were easy
I got
enough.
for trade. Nightmare Rob gave me. Mag Rock already had. Pan Bear I got in trade. And what's the other one? Priz. I think we got Priz actually.
I think Rocky went and got Priz for us.
Yeah. So
I went to Pan Bear for 3 days. Played for 8 to 10 hours each time for 3 days straight and never got any drop or the essence. And then I messaged Matty and I went, I didn't get it in 3 days hunting there for about 10 hours. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll just buy it. So if anyone has Pan Bear essence or any of the Euro 2 essences, hit me up, I'll buy them.
Okay, so coming back to that thread, I'm going to skip over some of the ones that are repeating the same stuff we've already spoke about. Tanto put boosting the speed for lower levels so they can catch up and compete. Yeah, I mean, I'm not adverse to that. I think if it was quicker to level, then maybe you would create more characters and things like that. I don't know. What do you think about that one? Quicker kind of leveling speed.
I think the leveling speed is fine. I know in the past I might have said that we should increase it a little bit to bring people on par, but I don't actually think it's too bad. I don't mind leveling speed.
Loopy's just done his in 9 weeks. I think Sub took about 7 weeks. Yeah, but there was 3 of us on it.
But 3 of us on it.
And we had a stupid amount of money spent on bloody rested pots.
Like we had rested from 1 to 110, so that you can't count Sub. You know what I mean? But it's not hard. It's not hard to get max level at all. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think if it was too quick, it would be a case of you'd get bored. And then it is more. I think we should have cat races more often because it is fun. I quite like the leveling side of it.
I love the leveling side.
I really enjoyed leveling Sub. I wouldn't want to do it again, but it was quite nice to do. And we did it obviously the plus 50 stat thing, so you had a bit of a bonus as well. So a lot of people talking about D-Soma basically, but we've already spoke about that, about the drops on D-Soma. So again, that would be cool to look at. Somebody's put houses and enemies houses. I've never. Did somebody say that one of the guild houses worked on a server once? I've never seen it.
I think when you click guild house, it sent you to the farm.
Yeah.
It sent you to the farm, and there were a stash person in there, a guild stash person there, and all that sort of stuff. So it was like your own little space in a sense. There's no point though. The community is not big enough. Yeah. We don't need it. You're just splitting people up more. It's pointless.
Yeah. So you'd basically stand in your house rather than the town.
Yeah, exactly. Houses are not going to happen. And you're going to have people... You're going to have more people doing the AFK healing for in without even being spotted. because they're all just going to hide inside their house. You know?
Yeah. Mm.
So, which is not actually allowed, I don't think. Oh, no, you're allowed to AFK heal. You're not allowed to block doors, I believe. I think that's the rule.
Yeah.
I think you are allowed to do the AFK healing. Like, maybe the GM can update me on that, but there's no one policing it. There's people AFK healing constantly in this game. And everyone knows it. The GMs must know it. Dan logs in through the...
I think he did today. He logged in and recalled everybody or something. Well, I wasn't on, but somebody said that he was on and recalled everybody.
Anyway, everybody's doing it. Who cares? I don't give a shit. I don't know why anyone else would. AFK healing. Go and do what you want. I don't care. Blocking at the doors is annoying, though. Yeah,
that's a bit annoying. You can't get into a room. Anyway, Hogan, he has some really good points on the forum. Hogan, he seems like a really good guy. He's put make it faster to level 100. It's pretty fast, but again, we just spoke about that. He's put mirror unused mob skins. So people can hunt the stats with just variations of drop. So basically, I think he's saying a bit like D-Soma. So basically, yeah, so D-Soma for H-Soma. So you basically hunt any mob you want, but obviously you get less XP per mob kill, basically.
Yeah,
I don't know if they implemented that now, it would probably people wouldn't be able to do the plus 50 stat thing, which would give players like Sub an advantage. Oh, Panclaw, fuck you, untagged. I hate that. You get so excited when you see a drop and then it's untagged. You're like, fuck. Anyway, and he's put have a community.
You need to pick the bar up.
I'm trying to read. You're meant to get the drops. Have a community voted forum mod who organizes fun stuff like in-game quizzes, arena challenges, organizes old school guild wars. Someone neutral just quickly deletes the cancerous threads that pop up from time to time, but pretty much every thread. No power to ban people, but can report to the GMs. Yeah, so we've spoken about this, like somebody helping Dan a little bit, basically. Someone who's neutral, someone who doesn't have the powers to create items or to hey, Rocky's on, to spawn. I'm just going to tell him we're doing casts on Discord. If you want to join us.
He was. He's shy. He's a shy.
Yeah.
He's a professional singer, right? Yeah. He's a professional singer, and he's shy. Like, no, I wouldn't say shy. He doesn't like coming on Discord for the podcast. You never know, he might come on right now.
See, watching F1, and he would come on. There's no way in hell he would have come on there, but anyway. Shout out to Rocky, though. He's a good guy.
He's a great guy. He's like one of our best friends now, I've got to say.
Ooh, friends.
Friends. Soma friends, yeah.
There's a picture of me and Rocky at the Guild Village War in E-Soma next to each other. So me on Sub and him on Rocky 1, which is amazing, because that was, over 15 years ago, 18 years ago, something like that. Yeah. So, yeah, that's cool to see. Anyway, let's carry on. So, Fox Trick, okay, he's put some good ones here. So he's put, how about not having to hunt the same monster from H-Soma with 125 strength to 171? You actually don't. You can actually, I think you can go back and forth between Shanice, can't you, like we did, off the top of my head. But yeah. I think if you change it, I think if you took away the plus 50 thing now, I think it would really mess up H-Soma, because people have done it and they've had the advantage. And if you took it away, then all the characters wouldn't be as strong as the ones who have done it. So I don't think you can change it.
Yeah.
I think it'll really cock it up. So I think H-Soma melee leveling's fine. I think BLG is a really good mob, and you get loads of good drops, and you're not on there for too long. Boar's a really good mob. They're hard to hunt, so I don't know. I think it's just the nightmares. Nightmares is, I think, the only thing that needs fixing on H-Soma leveling wise. The drops, obviously. So he's put on here, the axe and bow build. So. Yeah, you do have the best. Yeah, because you get the best stats, don't you, from them?
Dude,
so
this has been a debate though from the beginning of the game. Come on, everybody has done this.
And again, if you change it now, would it? I think it probably cock up the characters.
I understand what you're all saying. It's not going to change.
I would love to see 3 weapon skills per character. Personally, I think you would see the variations. Like I would definitely that sword I made today, I would use that. Like I made a really nice +5 bloodstained blade, and I'd love to use 5th sword, but I can't drop bow because bow are my main weapon. I need stone for axe, and I need axe for after the cap raise to get my strength. So I've got no choice. I can't go any other weapon. It'd be stupid if I did.
Yeah.
And if I did go, let's say if I dropped axe and went sword, I would then have to reskill axe again after the cap raise. So if it is, or maybe you could drop let's say 1,000,000 bar or something to just switch your second weapon. So I could go sword if I wanted to for a few weeks, but if I wanted to switch back, I don't have to sit on bugs for 5 days trying to get skill.
I think 3 as well.
Yeah, I think 3 would be cool. Some people disagree, but I don't know. I think you would see more variation and more different weapons used for, in PvP. I'd get my sword out and try and fifth somebody with the stone. That'd be awesome. But I'm just going to bow them at the moment because it's the easiest option. Okay, brain data. So he's actually come up with some really good ideas. I think basically what's happened with brain data's character, the original guy's back, because whoever was on it for the last few years hasn't been this guy because he's completely different.
You could tell.
Well, he used to just harass me brain data, when I was on Matty. So I started PKing him when he came back. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "PKing you, because you used to do it to me." He's like, "No, I didn't." I was like, "Yes, you did." Anyway, so he seems like a really, really cool guy to this original guy.
Maybe he's a reality check.
Yeah, I'm going to summarize it because it's quite a long one. Yeah, it's the same thing as what we said about the drop files. Melee, you have a bit more options. Int, you don't. It would be nice to see, the LB drops in kind of more the VOD monsters that you hunt on and things like that, which would be cool. Because LBs are Palace, same stats as Palace, aren't they? So if you need to go and get a weapon, you can only really hunt them. For like Apis level weapons. Anyway, but yeah, he's put. If you want to read the full thing, then you can do that. But he's saying get rid of the irrelevant drops.
Yeah, like untagged weapons.
Yeah,
untagged weapons should just be just thrown away.
Or somebody mentioned about combining 4 of them to make it hard as an option. That's not a bad idea because that pan call would be the pan call's worthless. What we got.
Yeah,
it's going to be NPC'd.
Yeah.
But if I could collect, say, 4 of them and have a chance to make a hard pan, then yeah, it makes the loot a bit more okay. At least I've got something to show for it rather than an untagged weapon. Raven Souls put having basically commands for the crafting skill, so /prepare, /cook, /potion. Somebody also mentioned /upgrade as well. Oh yeah, sorry, he has, and at the top of the post. So if I wanted to use Loopy for upgrades, because obviously he's got 200 skill, I would go /upgrade Loopy and pass him, what I would maybe put the items in that I want him to upgrade, and obviously there's a fee box to pay him for the upgrade if that's what he would want to do. I think when you've done the 200 skill thing like that, yeah, I think if Loopy wanted to charge a couple of herbs or something to do, that's fair enough. It's down to him. So that would be quite a cool option to see, and it's a bit safer for. I mean, I'm not saying anyone will rip anyone off, but people have been ripped off in the past because you can't see somebody else's screen, can you? So it would kind of solve trust issues. Yeah, I don't know how that would be. Fox Tricks make the capture the flag event start early evening, 7 PM, rather than a Saturday morning.
It is a strange time, I've got to say. It starts at like 11 o'clock Saturday morning, doesn't it?
Not many people. I mean, I was on early today. It was dead. I think it was like 7:30 I logged on or something like that. And it's just not really been many people on. The main times people are playing are UK evening time. That's the busiest times, which obviously they're all the prime times for all the other events. But I think it does give the Koreans and the Chinese a bit of an option as well with an event.
Yeah, I'll do it twice a week instead.
Yeah, because
Wednesday and Saturday or something. Wednesday at 7. Or Wednesday at 6 or something. I don't know. I went to it today. I didn't really understand it, and they were like 4 devils and no humans, and I didn't really understand what the hell were going on.
Yeah, I didn't get it either. Somebody could do a video explaining exactly how it works. I went on. I think I used Rocky, and I got like 2 hit by a devil, and then I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So
and I didn't understand the point of it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you get for winning it?
I think you get 10% increased drop rates for so long. I don't know how long. Is it an hour or something?
Oh.
Something like that. It's like I think it's a 10% increased drop rates for an hour after the event.
10%.
But again,
that's pretty. Just do that across the board, bro.
Yeah, it would be nice. Okay, let's go through some of these. So I want to try and use.
Someone mentioned about timed events and stuff. What I said to our guys the other week, that I wanted to start doing some guild hunts and stuff on an evening, like talking, because we all talk through the day when we're at work and stuff, like everyone say, right, 7 o'clock, You know, like when it's not Guild Village War Day. 7 o'clock, everyone get on. We're going to go do, like, back in these summer days, we used to go do Great Devil Guard, didn't we? And do the boxes and all that. And there's no bosses. You can't just log on an evening and think, right, we're going to go do this. You know, like on WoW, for example, you can go do dungeons, you can go do raids, you can go do that. You can plan and do it every night. There's literally nothing to do on here. There's no, like, thing you can go do. But if they made it so, say, instead of Great Devil Guard spawning, free, you know, that, like, time 6 event or whatever, what is it, time, I can't remember what, time 18
the Great Devil. Time 8's when a mini-bosses spawn.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, where you do the boxes and it opens up the dungeon 4 and you can go in and do the boss.
One, time 3.
Yeah, so just change that to Gorsha. Or change that to MBL. Or change it to random mob. Tyre, MBL, Crimson, Negamare, whatever it's called. Whatever, all the top bosses. You know all the top bosses that when he does an event, he spawns a ball, yeah? Just do it on one of them. Random chance. 5 bosses, random chance, 1 in 5 are getting 1, you know?
I think that's a Gorshak. I think that's a Gorshak because.
And then literally,
you'll need 5 of you to do Gorshak.
Exactly. So I can message everyone and go, right, anyone up for doing a boss tonight? And everyone going, yeah, I'm up for that. And then say, right, meet at 7. Soon as it's time, we go do the bosses, we go spawn the boss, and we go do it. And we go do it as a guild and go do it. Yeah. But what incentive have I got to get everybody on a weekday night after work other than Guild Village War? There is literally 0 incentive.
This is what someone's put exactly the same, but I literally only MUSASJ, whatever the fuck, I don't know how to pronounce that. I think he's Devil Soma. I literally log for Guild Village War on PK, nothing else.
Yeah.
So I think more things to do as groups.
That can't be hard to change either.
Well, could you? I mean, that's a change that to Gorshak easy. That's a really easy one to do.
Well, you could change it to Gorshak at time 4. Change it to Shak at MBL at. You could do an MBL one. Stick a load of boxes in VOD. We all have to go find them, you know, and then it spawns MBL after like 5 minutes once all the boxes are open.
These crystals, though, I don't know if they're working or not, but we can't think.
They don't do all, do they? They don't. I don't think. I mean,
there was all that big thing about damn Negamare and that teaser page and all this stuff, and then then we all tried for days, and I mean, we figured out time 8 they turn on, like they're active at time 8. Yeah. We were all on Discord. We all stood at 1 each, trying them in different orders, trying to click them all at the same time. Nothing happened. So, no, I think everyone's given up. Like no one can figure it out.
Everyone's given up with everything. This is the problem. We're trying to bring everybody back and start something.
You know, imagine if that was like, you know, like the Grand Devil Guard, but it was a Negamare and you needed 20 of you to go and kill it every time 8. You know, that's a huge input for the game, but no one knows. It's been the same for 5 months. So Dan, just tell us, like, if it's working, you just tell us, like you did with the mag fragments today, because I was trying to find the mag fragments.
We all want to do something. And, I want to do something. I want to get everybody on. Me and Demon have been chatting and saying we need to do guild hunts or guild events or something on an evening, like whatever. No, everybody's just PMing me and quitting, and I'm like, I know, mate. Tell me about it. What can I do though? You know, I can't do anything because there's nothing for us to do on an evening, but maybe go hunt mags. What's the point in hunting mags? You know, we're all bored of mags. We're all fed up of it. It's been however long, many years we've been there. You know. We need something to do, and it's such an easy fix. It's got to be an easy fix, just to put in bosses spawning more or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if Negamare at time 8 worked, if Great Devil Guard was changed to say Magma Beast Lord, that's a good boss. You know, that's 2 things. That's like time, because you got to kind of go at like time box, aren't you? If I remember right.
Say that again. You broke up, mate.
So for the level 4 dungeon, you got to go at like time 23 times 0 to open the boxes. I think at time, is it time 0? I think the door opens at time 3 it spawns or something like that. Yeah. Whatever around it is, you got to kind of give it half an hour, 40 minutes to do it all. So if that was say Magma Beast Lord, or maybe a combination of Pammoth, Magma Beast Lord, Insane Pammoth, you know, the kind of the good VOD bosses basically, not the shitty ones like Crimson Pride Queen or Bloodhacker.
No, all the ones he spawns on an event.
Yeah.
The only ever time we get bosses is when Dan logs on. That's the only time we get Shaq or get Tyre or get so and so. Yeah. And the majority of time that's Saturday morning. What if we got people who work every single Saturday morning so never get to see it? And then Dan don't log on all week again until Saturday morning because he's obviously busy with doing whatever. Fair enough. Yeah. We're not hating on people for that. Or Dan being busy on that. Put automated systems in place to do it for you. You can do it. It's already there for you. The code's already there and implemented and done for you. Surely, Great Devil Guard, all Great Devil Guard is to change the code in the database. So instead of it spawning Great Devil Guard, it spawns fucking MBL or Gorshak. Yeah, that is not hard to change.
That was my favourite thing on eSoma, by the way.
It was my favourite thing. We used to do it all the time as Nightblades.
We get up at 3 in the morning, me and Chris. Yeah. We probably came and do it with you. We on Kendra, and we wake up at 3 in the morning, time it. So you'd set your alarm so like 2:40 a.m. So you knew that it was a time on Soma. You get up and you'd go and do the thing because it was like that was when Spirit crossbows and stuff were the top level weapon, weren't they? They were all M-tag, weren't they?
They were all M-tag, and everybody loved running around with an M-tag weapon on it. Were like the cool thing to do, and that's what the best weapons were. All the M-tag weapons.
And again, they need to be shat. The thing is with shat level weapons now, just put more in game because they're so hard to. You know, I'm saying that they're so hard to do. I've made 2 today, but that's 2 at +5, not 2 at +8. You know, the +8 ones, there's only 1 in the game.
But then he's thinking of adding a new weapon to you. Did that teaser picture, remember?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think it's needed, but
it is needed. But
that needs to be. Okay, so let's say he brings that in. Yeah, brilliant, and that is big buff attack, and people are going to go for them. But that needs to bring the shat level weapons into kind of how common stingers are now.
Yeah, it does.
So if we're hunting here, we had 2 hard stingers at the mags. We should be having 2 hard shat level weapons now.
Yeah.
That's kind of where you want to be.
Totally.
And then people upgrade the weapon. And then the thing is, that's the people who've made +8 stingers, they now need to make a +8 shack level or the one above. So it brings those people back in the game to make a new weapon. Like I know if I log in and suddenly my bow's out of date, I've then got to grind and make a better bow. Or otherwise I'm just hitting, I'm hitting such low damage. It's not worth it. So yeah, bring the new tiers in definitely, but make sure that the shack level weapons are more common then. So Negamare, make sure that works. Again, just tell us if it is in game, brilliant, tell us how to do it because no one's figured it out for 5 months. They're not going to. I think everyone's given up on it.
Everyone else given up on it.
Well, I can't think of anything else you would do. Like, okay, we know the time they activate. We clicked them in every single order I could think of within that 10 minutes. Nothing worked. I literally don't know what else to do. We actually tried to find an NPC as well, so we clicked it all activated the next time. Then we ran around the whole VOD map to see if anything had changed, like a door had opened or an NPC had spawned. Nothing came from that. So
it doesn't work. I don't actually believe that it works.
If it doesn't, then tell us. That's fine. But
I don't think
I think it would be cool if it did. So you'd have like the Devil Guard at time 3, for example. Then that gives you nearly just over half an hour to get ready for your Negamare. It would increase PvP because if DL turned up and VK were there, we'd have to fight to kill the boss unless we agreed that we would help each other, which I don't think would happen. China would be there every single one anyway, but that's what they do. I just think it'd be such a great thing for the game. And that, for that nearly 2 hours of the day, you've got something to do with, which isn't just endless mining basically for those people who are capped.
I just love to be able to message people and go, does anyone fancy doing a boss tonight? And there's actually going and spawning a boss and doing it, making an incentive for everybody getting involved and coming on. Because if you did that and we went and did that, I can guarantee then people would go, let's go do a quick PK run, then seeing as though we're all on, or let's go do a mag hunt, or can someone help me go get horror eyes so I can get zombie? And we'd all be like, yeah, because we're all playing and we're all logged in, we're all having a laugh, we're listening to music in Discord, that's what you want, and there's just no incentive at all.
It's a bit like, you got to learn lessons from different games. And Albion, we played that for quite a while. And every night we were on there, all on Discord, all doing... There was lots of different things to do, weren't there? You could go and do... you could just go and hunt some monsters if you wanted to. Or you could go and do... what were they called? The expeditions, if you didn't want anything complicated. Rocky's going to die. What are you doing, Rocky? For fuck's sake. Must be AFK. But there was tons of things to do, and then you bump in for PvP and things like that. So yeah, it's just giving you groups to do. And I think the friendships on Soma, that's what really brings people to the game.
It does.
You know, all the friends. And
I would be back here if it weren't for being back playing with you and Rocky and that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what reason? You know, obviously the thread was what will bring you back to. I think if we can nail the friendship side of things and the group side of things, that would be awesome. Just giving more things to do for your group. You know, maybe a more guild quest. But I think those boss things, because that was what people love to do on ESOM, wasn't it?
It's time
bosses. And also just like the general bosses, just redo the drop files slightly, like Heartman and, you know, Terrask and all the ones that really give you kind of that ESOMA buzz. Just redo the drop files, or just add something nice to them that they will drop. You know, something maybe tablets or you know, some certain weapons or something. So you don't have to completely change the drop file. Just add something to them that makes people want to go, oh shit, Heartman spawned.
Yeah,
you know,
just
then you can kill him.
Just changed its strength to 200 and its int to 200 or whatever. Because I always say all the time, oh, Terra's spawned, let's go, mate. And you would go, nah, can't be asked. Don't drop.
It doesn't drop anything.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, but it's what I used to do in ESOM, and you'd be like, nah, it's crap. There's no point. And I'm like,
I don't really kill Crimson Pride Queen now or anything like that, just because I know it drops that soul thing, but those souls are some of them like I think you need a lot of the Berserker Warthog and the Absolute Nightmare, which are so rare to get. I've had one in the whole time I've played, and that was an Absolute Nightmare one, and I've killed it loads of times. They're so hard to get, so getting 5 Crimson Pride thingies is very easy to do, but you can't just give it up because there's no point getting any more. So I think the bosses are great, and maybe just relook at them a little bit. But there's nothing negative about that. I think that'll bring a lot of players a reason to log in at night if it isn't Guild Village War Night. And even if it is Guild Village War Night, you know, like some people still can't be asked because it's only Guild Village War, it's only Trace.
Yeah.
You know, it is
And we don't even really bother with Trace because none of us are logging in on an evening to
use it. Yeah.
Last time we played, I didn't even use it once.
Well, the more after that, we were like, can you be bothered tonight? We're like, no, I can't be fucked.
Yeah.
And because we didn't organise anyone, we couldn't be arsed. And John messaged me saying, where were you all tonight? I was like, I just couldn't be arsed.
Yeah, because
for the sake of Trace, I can't be fucking arsed.
John got all DL on, so there were loads of them, I believe, and we were just like, we can't be arsed, honestly, because what's point? What do I need Trace for to go around the map to hunt mags to get nothing? There's no incentive.
Exactly.
There's complete, and we used to say this about World of War. There's no incentive. But what did we do? We made this cast. We said there's no incentive. We need an incentive to go Conte. He brought out an incentive to go Conte. Like he changed stuff and inputted things like added them items, didn't it? He added them.
Yeah, so Conte's worth fighting for.
So Conte is now worth fighting for because he's changed things and added things. So
even more now with the mag fragments. Now you need
exactly.
the Conte to spend the mag fragments.
So Dan is realising and hearing our messages on the forums and stuff, and he is obviously sat there reading it, going, yeah, it's not wrong. You are right, and I'll try to do something, but yeah, stuff does need to. Hopefully, he listens to these and he does get it sorted. Because we only bring it, and everybody thinks, oh, this is Matty's and Tom's idea. It's all what they want. It's not. Matty's reading off what's on the forums from people. Matty's talking and discussing and bringing to light all this. Matty speaks to Dan and tells him like, oh, someone said this. Maybe this would be a good change. You know. And
yeah,
this is not just all our ideas. We don't want this. All this drop rate change, I couldn't care less if it gets buffed or not, because, like I said before, we've got the gear we need. I just want an incentive for everybody to play. For Mav to message me one day and go, do you fancy doing mags? And me going, yeah, alright then, because it's worth the drops. We might get 3 DTs and you could have 2 and I'll have 1. You know what I mean? There's no incentive. No incentive to play. And I've said this numerous times. In this day and age of this game, you need incentive to play. Like WoW. I can log on to WoW, I can message my guild. Anyone fancy doing a few dungeons or raid? Yeah, I'll do it. Because you get loot at the end of it that you need and gives you upgrades. You guaranteed upgrades. Do you know what I mean? In a game.
And I think as well, you got to like this. All these threads and all these podcasts and all that stuff. There's been tons and tons of good ideas. It is a lot of work, you know, for one person to take all this on board and change it. So yeah, I think first step is someone helping Silver to do all these things. Someone who's very good at coding, someone who's impartial. Somebody, they're not going to have access to giving anyone items or anything, but someone who can code.
They won't have access to anything. But
that's what I mean. Yeah, but someone who will do it, voluntarily. Oh, you look what's on the floor.
I don't know. Oh,
Untag Psycho crossbow.
Oh, yeah, Psycho.
I'm gonna pick it up anyway.
Yeah, but it's NPC fodder, you know.
Actually, these aren't too bad. They're like, I mean, I would never upgrade. It's not worth it. But they're like 30. They're the same as a really shitty rare stinger. So some people kind of want them sometimes. Like someone in guild might want. Yeah. But like if you haven't got a good bow, they're not too bad. Those untag ones. But again, it would be nice to have like so many and combine them to a hard.
That's a good idea. Like, just free. Free normals makes it hard. Simple.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's quite. Anyway.
So where were we? Group. Oh shit.
You what?
So I clicked off the screen and
we lost another player to the old repair breaking thing this week.
I felt for Diablo when I read that because I know what it feels like.
I couldn't believe how much he's like. Me and Matty left for like 2 months, a month, and we came back and Diablo was suddenly like capped and he'd got all these gear and he'd been doing really well, and Demon said he'd been helping him and all this, and I was like, it's great, you know, like new player, he's really enjoying the game, blah blah blah. It's great to see it, and then suddenly, because of a stupid glitch or bug or whatever, the guy's broke his bow at Guild Village War, which there's so many people done, and so much happened like that before. And we petitioned for it to be changed, and it did change in a small way, but the bow wasn't even his, which I believe. I don't think the bow was even his personally, so he's broke somebody else's bow, so I think it was like a dagger to the heart.
I just don't see why can't you just make it where the item 0 just doesn't work. Like, so if I use my bow now and it broke I would just start punching, but the bow would still be on me. You know what I mean? But not. Or maybe I would use.
Just stand still and nothing happens.
Nothing happens, but there's no point breaking it. I think it's so hard to make these items. It's just a stupid game mechanic. I just think it was designed in late 90s to a game that you were never meant to have items that took you 5 years to make. It was designed for, whatever it was that people thought back in the day. It's very different. This server and this level, this time in the server. At this point, it's very different now. I just think I think you're losing players and pissing off a lot of players for something that's so simple to change. There's no positives to it. Like, what's the positive of somebody breaking an item because they were paying attention to killing somebody and not paying attention to the top left-hand corner of the screen? And
Diablo spent $100.
It was a +7 bow. It's crazy.
Yeah, but he spent £100 just on this is the weird thing. He spent £100 on repair tokens.
Yeah.
Free SR to get SR tokens because he had this bow.
What pisses me off is some fucking idiots on the forum go, "Well, you should have paid attention to it then." Well, no, he shouldn't. He should be paying attention to the game he's trying to play.
Yeah, he's trying to fucking fight. He's trying to
fucking fight Guild Village War. That's what he's focusing on. He's not going, I'm going to keep looking at the top of the corner every 5 fucking seconds to see if my bow's about to break, It's just a stupid game mechanic, and I really think that it's a very simple thing to change, and I don't see why. I know there's people jumping on the board going, you get over it and all that stuff. Well, I can feel for him, and I think it would be great to get that bow back and bring him back in game again. That's just a positive for the server. And all those bellends who were saying, all that stuff. Well, yeah. You're laughing at somebody's misfortune there. It's not that he did it on purpose. It's not that he wanted it to happen. Just he was focusing on playing the game and not focusing on worrying about all those items fucking breaking all the time, which is something I've fretted about for ages, to be fair. I'm not too bad now, but it's still stupid. In fact, it's still a stupid game mechanic. Right, let me.
But yeah, I hope he comes back, Diablo. If you do listen, do come back, mate. Don't let that get you down. I know it's shit. Maybe have a week break. Trust me, so many have done it. Come back. Trust me, we'll help you out. We'll all help you out in sorting you out with your new bow or whatever. Just message us and we'll try and help you best you can, because we don't want to lose any players to anything. So yeah.
Mikey C's put a good. Well, it's basically saying that once items are upgraded, like say +1, bounce traded.
Wait, say that again. You're broken.
So Mickey C said that when items are upgraded, they can't be traded. But I don't know how that would work, because
can't trade upgraded items.
If you wanted to say borrow my evasion, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's stupid.
I don't think you can, because if I wanted to borrow lend my bow out or whatever, I can't. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I don't know how that would work.
That's proper stupid. I don't like that idea. What about all the people that have bought Flick's gear and been given Flick the Bean's gear? So you're going to give all this gear back to Flick the Bean? No, you're not. Shut the hell up. That's not going to happen, mate. That's stupid. That's stupid idea. Let's stop people from trading gear. Alright, so for the last... How long has this been server been out? 5 years or something, staff. So, we'll go back 5 years, trace every item and give it back to original characters. Are you mad? Bloody hell. That's never going to happen. That's silly. Anyway, what's the next point?
Well, a lot of these are people arguing with each other. We're just going to have that on through 2 pages of people just fucking moaning at each other for various reasons. Yeah, there's similar things, but people are saying getting to level 100 quicker. It's pretty quick.
No, we've gone through that. Move on. We've done that one. Move on. We've got that one.
Okay, so who's this? Stones has put 2 times XP on a Sunday.
That's not a bad idea. Every weekend, everything gets
2 times XP for Saturday. Whoever race holds a better World War turnout. So another reward basically for the World War turnout, which will be quite cool. Maybe even a small map with 2 to 3 drops XP that can be used for 30 minutes after a Soma day for the Guild Village holders. So maybe another thing is with Guild Village holders, like. We know that for the past 4 months, DL have just handed it to basically DL and Titans, which I don't blame them for. We would have probably done the same thing between Espada and VK if they didn't turn up. But I think the Guild Village World's great, as in the amount of people turn up and the fighting in it. I think the trace thing's good, but maybe more things should be added. But to give other guilds more of a chance to do it. So it might be something like this where. Could there be 3 stones in the room like there is on, the World of the War castle thing? A certain stone gives you X amount of bonuses, another stone gives you something, another stone gives you something else. So kind of the lower levels might want to fight over something, and then the big guilds might want to fight over the biggest reward. You know what I mean? So it just gives. I just think that it could be tweaked slightly to give more of a. Like that. This, like you're saying, you get a bit of a bonus map for so many minutes in the Soma day or something like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I would like Guild Village to be changed to a weekly thing.
I think it is too. It is too like it's every 3 days. You're like, oh, fucking hell again.
Yeah, I can't be bothered.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't.
I'd like it changed to a weekly event, and I'd prefer it. And I think there'd be more PvP, and I think there'd be more fighting if they changed it to like World of the War. Like, there were 3 points inside, or 1 outside, 2 inside, and whoever's on the 3 points, or 2 of the 3 in the end, wins. So that it could be, in a sense, instead of us all just crowding around a stone and last person to die on it wins, because a lot of time it's last person to die in it.
It's a lot of, for me, it's a lot of fucking hassle for not a lot of reward, if you know what I mean. So like that last Thursday, let's say it was Guild Village, and it's Saturday night now. I can't be arsed. If it's definitely tonight, I could not be arsed.
No,
I can't be arsed trying to message everyone, right, coming on, and then you got to, do all the rigmarole, and then if you lose, everyone's see all the goading messages, and it's just like, okay, well, what's really happened here is not really a lot, has it? You've just, one team's logged more than the other, or the other way around. If we logged 20 people, DL didn't turn up, which happened a couple of weeks. I think I was on holiday, didn't they? Yeah, you were all on.
Yeah, they were like 35.
So, again, it's no fun for you guys logging 35. They're not logging anybody because they probably couldn't be asked. It's a bit like, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but there is a few issues with it. But it is the biggest. It is the biggest draw in Soma. You know what I mean? It's the biggest. It's definitely the biggest draw. It's bigger than World of the War.
Way
World,
bigger.
whatever fucking call it. So,
I love how we see it.
how can you get everybody there, and how can you get everybody? I want to log in for this. You know what I mean? Even solo players, even smaller guilds, even people who've never been to Guild Village War. Is there any way that they can go and get something from it? I don't know. Anyway, that was Stones' idea, kind of.
But it needs to be our main thing is pulling people to the game and drawing people to the game, and I think the biggest incentive would be to actually make drops more often and more frequent by upping the rates, upping the drop rates. That would solve so many issues, and user count would. There's no doubt the user count would grow. There's no doubt at all.
Brute came up with a good idea as well of removing deaths from your PK fucking ratio thing, and having a monthly chart of who's killed the most people. So
like a leaderboard.
Like a leaderboard, yeah. So PK is, killing someone is good because you get like a point on the leaderboard, for example. But if people wouldn't care about dying as much, if that makes sense. So I think the engagements would be a bit better because you got to think about it. A certain amount of people just run to the far end of the screen as soon as they see an archer, or they just won't engage at all. So it was an epic bit of bone helm there. Is it male or female? Can you see? Let me kill this mob. I think the engagements would be better. Is it male? It's fucking female. Fuck's sake. Pick it up anyway. Yeah, so I thought that's quite a cool idea. So you're removing the whole, death thing because no one, like Cupid's KDR's 4 kills, 300 or 400 deaths. Does that mean that it's a bad character? No, it just means that it's a tank.
Of course, it's terrible.
And you're the worst tanker in the world, obviously.
Obviously.
So I think that's quite a cool idea. And the idea being it would make people engage in the fight more instead of running around like headless chickens and not wanting to die. And you would have more incentive to get a kill, so people would want the kills. So there'd be more fighting basically, rather than we know on the last few PK wars that we've had, it's been if we're organising, we start wiping them, they all just bugger off, and the same vice versa. If they're organising and we're not, then we just bugger off. But what would happen if it was? Oh, nice. Oh, it's a Ring of Night. I thought it was something else. I'm full, by the way, so one of you guys pick it up. Yeah, what would make people engage more? Even if it was like me versus EL, okay? Well, let's say if I was against 2 mages and a stoner, I know I can kill one of the mages if I locked on enough and didn't get stoned for, say, 5-6 seconds. So would I fight and try and get a kill? Because it doesn't matter how many times I die. I could die 10 times, but if I get 1 kill, I'm further up the leaderboard. You know what I mean? Or would I just, at the moment, I would probably just warp because there's no point trying to fight 3 because there's no point. But if it meant I could get a kill on one of them and I get something for it, yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's just an idea that Brute. I thought it was a really good idea. If Brute that was.
Yeah, but you're just gonna have Ganon running all the time. It's gonna be annoying.
Yeah. Well, I say maybe it wouldn't. Maybe it would engage.
Ganon literally sits on the edge of your screen and just waits for you to be stoned, then runs in and bangs you and runs away again.
Well, that's what he does. That's his strategy, and it works. Simple as that. It works, and it's a good strategy. But it's not a. There's no kind of big engagement fight. There's no kind of everyone going at it, which is the most fun, I think. So, right, I'm just reading the last few ones of the post. It basically just people.
Yeah, we need to wrap this up.
Giving shit to each other. So there's not really a lot more to say. But I think there's some good ideas there. I think the main thing is somebody helping Dan with all these ideas. Somebody putting some time into the server. So maybe if somebody wants to volunteer, put it on the forum, message Dan direct. I think there's tons of ideas, and if we had someone who literally could go, right, I'm here and I've got 10 hours this week, what do you want me to do? We could put threads on the forum, we could maybe put polls, you could obviously Dan would have to finalize it. I think it's all got to go down to him, but at least we could then put these across in these videos, and find out what people are saying. So
it's nice for just stuff to be happening.
Yeah, I think it does need some. I think there is newer-ish, smaller improvements, but I think some big drastic ones that aren't a huge amount of effort would make a massive difference. I really do.
Totally agree. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up there because football's on. Well,
footy's on.
Come on, England.
Right, I'm going to go and take my dogs out, I think.
Yeah, it's been fun, guys. Thanks for listening.
It's a bit emotional.
It's been emotional. Don't hate on us too much,
Really? Would people do that?
Would they? I don't think so. Why would
Never.
They? Anyway, take care, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. And I think we're going to try and get Demon on the next one. I think Demon's going to come on the next one.
I think Demon and Afro. So we're going to have a D-Soma and a H-Soma view on everything.
Yeah, I want to get Afro on here because he knows about D-Soma. Still happy, still waiting for Link and Ganon to get themselves on, but I think they're busy, aren't they, all the time? Too busy. So, yeah. They didn't come on, I don't think so.
I still need to come on.
Yeah, Dan would be nice to get on and just get his point across. And
because at least all these things that we're saying, he could say, well, we can do this for this reason, we can't do it for this reason. That might be nice to know.
Foreplay! Woo!
Foreplay? Oh, sweet. You can see that. Can't pick it up. Fucking no space. I'm picking it drops. Nice.
I love that.
Fucking hell, last drop of the...
Anyway, we'll leave it on that note. Thanks, guys, for listening, and we'll see you. We'll probably try to do one next week sometime. Get Demon on. So yeah, discuss everything on the forums. Thanks for listening.
We hope you enjoyed the Myth-of-Soma podcast. To download the game for free, visit myth-of-soma.com. Until next time, Soma fans.